First question for you. I got to think, in your career that night, November 22nd, 2003, has to be a standout night in your career, maybe even of your whole hockey career.
Well, for sure. I think you never know how big it's going to be until you really live it. And even when you do, you don't know until you see the aftermath and, looking at some pictures. And, I think everything was just perfect. It was really cold, almost too cold, but in a way that makes so much more special. And having the old-timers before old-timers still had some good players, but I mean the old Oilers again, the old Montreal, I think everything was just perfect. And looking back, it was really a fun night.
The league was careful in selecting that date. They thought late November would be very dry, pretty cool in Alberta. How cold was it?
Yeah, it was cold. I think we did have some concerns. We practiced the day before just to check it out, and it wasn't even as cold as the game, but it was really cold. And some players were like, "Well, is it going to be too cold to play?" And then when
at any time was there any consideration of maybe postponing it?
Well, we knew it was going to be hard with all the preparation, but it was at a point some of the players did mention that it was too cold to play. I think it was close to minus 20 or
yeah.
So it was cold, especially for goalies, because we had to stay there for pretty much 20 minutes. We couldn't really do anything on the bench. They had those big warmers, so it wasn't bad. But I mean, it was fun.
The guys who were skating, when they got to the bench and had to sit for a few shifts, you could see how uncomfortable they were. So I was thinking, someone in your position, the play's down at the other end of the ice, and you're standing there freezing, it's 20 below. How tough was it on you?
Yeah, it's tough, especially with your equipment. It gets wet with the sweat, and then it kind of freezes. So it was ice all over the place, and you couldn't really. I played with gloves underneath my blocker and catcher, and you can't feel the puck. So a lot of times you would make a save, and you didn't really know if you had it because you couldn't feel the puck just because your equipment was so stiff. But I mean, that's all part of the experience. That what make it so special.
A standard NHL puck is frozen, and I'm thinking when it hits you in a game, it stings. That night, outdoors, 20 below, did it have an extra special sting?
No, it was just so cold you didn't feel anything. Like I say, your equipment was really stiff, and your body was kind of freezing as well. So a lot of time you would make save, and you didn't really know if you had it because it was cold.
You guys got to go to the locker room twice in between periods. How important was that for getting some sense of comfort, or did it help at all? Were you not in there long enough?
No, it was good, but it's like any other thing. You're starting to feel comfortable, and then you kind of know you have to go back in the outside where it's really cold. So you feel comfortable, and then for the first 5 minutes when you step outside, you're like, wow, this is really cold. And then it takes you another 10 minutes to keep going. But I mean, it's seeing the fans outside, everybody, the smoke and everything. It was just a good feeling.
Just one more question for you. Would you be interested in playing in another outdoor game, potentially, say, Washington versus Pittsburgh?
Well, I think it would be a great rivalry. I think the first time we did play it outside, though, with Montreal, it was kind of a new stuff. It was exciting. Now you see it a little bit more and more every year. You see one team. So I think it's a thing that it's good you do once. I don't know if it's going to be the same impact if you do it over and over again. Anyway, for players. I think the first time is always going to stay special for me.
If you do get a chance to play outdoors again, just as you did 5 years ago, you might need a toque to wear over your helmet. And there's this Capitals toque, and we thought, we're doing this screening of pond hockey next Monday night. We thought, rather than give it to you, we'll get you another one if you need it for the game, but we thought maybe if you would sign this, we'd give it out in a drawing to somebody at the theater. Would you do that for us?
Yeah, for sure, yeah. Yeah. If it's minus 20, I'll put another one for sure.
Jose, thanks for spending the time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.